All that coming up, but first, just weeks before the midterm elections, President Biden announcing another drawdown of our emergency oil stockpile as a way to curb high gasoline prices and telling energy oil companies to ramp up production. Joining me right now is Energy and Natural Resources Committee member, Senator Bill Cassidy. Senator, thanks very much for being here.
Hey, thank you, Maria.
We are at the lowest levels in terms of the strategic petroleum reserve since 1984. The president continues to sell and deplete this emergency stockpile, and he says it's not political. What is the impact of all of this selling of oil? Are you concerned that we are looking at dangerously low levels, the lowest since 1984?
Of course. But first, let's talk about the impact. The impact they're hoping for is that they don't get slaughtered in the midterm elections. But on the other hand, it is the absence of an energy policy which most concerns me. This substitutes for North American production, which could have made us energy independent, could have made us able to keep our gasoline prices low, created lots of American jobs, and, by the way, helped our allies in Europe. What really concerns me is that their energy policy is absent, so all they're doing is pumping out of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve.
Yeah, and he's also trying to act like it's the oil companies that come up with the price of gasoline as opposed to supply and demand. I spoke with the American Petroleum Institute president, Mike Summers, over on Mornings with Maria. Here's what he said about Biden's so-called energy policy. Watch.
This is a very precarious position we're in today at a time of dramatic geopolitical upheaval. One thing that this administration has done from the very beginning is they've tried to do everything they could to prevent production here in the United States. This administration continues to talk out of both sides of its mouth, saying they want more production, but not putting more policies in place that would actually encourage more production.
Yeah, he's using the bully pulpit to mislead the American people. I'm told that there are 4 permits applied for in like January of this year, that if they had been granted then, there would already be oil and gas coming from the Gulf of Mexico to be refined to keep our utility costs lower, to keep our gasoline prices lower. But those are still waiting to be approved. So we're now, to the 10th month in. It could have been approved within 6 months. They are still waiting. The administration is doing everything they can to keep it in the ground, while they use the bully pulpit to imply that it's the oil companies, the boogeyman of the oil companies, and we pay more. Not just at the pump, but at the utilities, and that's hurting the American people.
Well, how does he not know this? I mean, when Joe Biden walked into the White House, the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, was at 1.4%. It's at 8.2%. Inflation has skyrocketed on his watch. And, you know, energy is one of the big issues. What are you expecting from home heating bills this fall and winter?
So right now, utility bills are up 30%. I expect them to go higher, particularly for those dependent upon heating oil. And you ask, what did he expect? The dirty little secret is that many in his administration want us to pay more for our utilities, for gasoline. They think it speeds up the transition to a, kind of battery-powered, renewable-powered future. So that's their dirty little secret. But they can't say it before the midterms. But everything about releasing oil now, asking the Saudis to wait, hold off on raising their prices till after the midterms, they don't mind us paying more, just not before they get clobbered in the midterms.
Wow. Senator, do you think you'll be able to take control of the Senate as well?
If the American people are voting on inflation, the economy, crime, and the border, we take the Senate. This is a referendum upon Joe Biden's presidency. That helps us.
All right, Senator, we'll be watching all of that now, just 3 weeks away. Bill Cassidy joining us this morning and this weekend. Thank you so much, sir. Coming up, economist